Okay. So Shannon, go ahead and tell me what you want to work on today.
Okay, well, I think my adrenals are like overworked or just gone kaput.
Mm-hmm.
I I had a hysterectomy, and so I had gotten over hot flashes for a while, but night sweats. Hold on just a second. Go away. Um, and I don't know. Chinese medicine says I have too much fire on board, but I think they need something to kind of help with this.
Okay,
And
so that's manifesting as hot flashes still, or it's
yeah, night sweats.
night sweats.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've been having a lot of trouble with my low back, my hip joints, and my left sacroiliac area.
Okay.
And then I've been having a lot of numbness in my hand, right hand. And the chiropractor told me I had some type of syndrome that had to do with these.
Thoracic outlet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. And then my hands and feet, like the joints in my hands and feet are just sore not all the time, seem to be in the morning mostly. But I just didn't think you hurt this bad when you got older. I thought my mom was lying.
Well, I think it's good not to settle. I don't think you have to settle for, for hurting. I think that's sort of something that lives very much in the collective.
And, then I've had people tell me, oh, well, those are pains of ascension, just, everything's changing and speeding up. And it's like, I don't know. I just want it to go away.
Yeah. No, I get it. Well, I think, yeah, I know. I'm not sure how I feel about, I think sometimes those, I think we'll call us maybe a certain level of bullshit on the pains of ascension theory. Yep. but I do think that sometimes our own resistance to anything can show up as pain.
Yes.
So for sure.
I agree. So, and I've been, actually, I tried to get into Abraham Hicks several years ago, and I just wasn't there. But I am now, and I understand the concept, can't quite put it into practice.
Okay.
Yet. So, but I do understand the concept.
Well, I drew a card for you from my, now I'm going to totally forget the name of the deck. It's my friends John and Amy made it. So it's John and Amy's deck. Hold on one second. Here we go. They call it like the Lotus deck, but they're
nice.
Really cool cards. But anyway, the one I drew for you is called Opportunity.
Okay.
It says the ending is but a new beginning. Your inner light guides you toward. I asked what you needed help with today. Your inner light guides you toward your future and through the inevitable cycles of change. By recognizing the necessity for change, you open to new experiences. You are prepared to meet these opportunities, even though you may still doubt your abilities. Break the chains of the past and create a brighter future. Go confidently into this new beginning that offers you the opportunity for change.
Well, it makes sense because everything that I've pulled probably in the last 6 months has said change. And I don't know how personal I should get on this recording. I kind of had I had a friend, and I guess we're still friends. I don't know, but I angered her, and she's like basically cut me off. And what I did was because I cared for her,
Yeah.
I guess the mistake that I made was expecting her to react the same way I would have had the roles been reversed, and that's
right.
not that happened. But what it's shown me is I need to step out on my own. I need to find out. I'm going from thing to thing because I can't figure out what my thing is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, I've just decided I'm just going to just do it alone and try to figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm. And so talk to me a little bit about have you talk to a doctor about the night sweats, or your chiropractor? Have they just think it's hormonal or adrenal?
I think it's hormonal. I'm not taking hormone replacement therapy. I'll use like herbs or whatever. I have been on ashwagandha, which, strengthens and nourishes the adrenal glands.
Mm-hmm.
But I ran out. You know how that is.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
I just, it's like if it's something energetic that you can manipulate, that would be awesome.
Okay. All right. I'll encourage you to maybe have you had blood drawn recently or anything like that?
Not for hormones. I've had blood drawn.
Okay. So you've had at least like a white blood, like a CBC or a...
Yeah, I had a cardiac, what I thought was a cardiac issue last August, and I had a full-blown cardiac workup with blood work and everything. I'm fine.
Okay.
So, but I haven't had...
I just always caution people with night sweats, because that's one of those big red flag... it goes with the hormones too, but it also goes with cancer. And so it's just one of those things to be, mindful of as well. And I'm sure that you're aware of that with your nursing.
Right. And, the lab work came back perfect.
Okay, great. Now I just wanted to make sure that you had been kind of cleared of, any of that big stuff. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and open the space. So I just want you to bring your attention to your breath. And now I want you to imagine breathing in and out of your feet. And imagine that you're synchronizing your breath with the breath of the earth. So you breathe in up from the core of the earth into your feet, and exhale back down into the center of the earth. And then gradually you can bring that breath up higher into your shins and your knees, each time exhaling back down to the center of the earth. And then come up to your hips and back down. And breathe into your pelvis. And exhaling all the way back down. And then bring the breath up into your belly. And if you need a few breaths to allow any area to soften, go ahead and do that. And then bring the breath up into your chest, into your heart, and all the way back down to the center of the earth. Now bring it up into your throat. And then up into your third eye, and let your third eye get really big, like it takes up the whole space inside of your brain. And then breathe all the way up from the center of the earth through the top of your head, connecting to the universe above as you inhale, and the earth below as you exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah, the energy of your adrenal glands is all scattered. Like it's not in your adrenal glands at all. It's, but we can get that. back in line. Oh, yeah, and your spine really isn't very happy with you. Like your vertebrae are sheared off to the side. But let's see if we can kind of get... Is there a particular movement? I should have asked you this before we started, but is there a particular movement that aggravates your back or your hips, or like just standing up?
They seem to be worse when I get up in the morning.
Okay.
And I think I need a new mattress. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And if I walk for an extended period of time, it's like, all right, you know that little divot that, I don't know what it's called, at the bottom of the spine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that muscle right there will just seize up.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with, I feel like your body wants me to start with L5. Because it's like both of the, so on the little round part of the vertebrae, the body is a layer of tissue called the end plate. So a disc that's really between two end plates. And your end plates on both sides of your L5 are sheared, not sitting. We're not sitting correctly anyway. There it goes. Would you say your left SI was bothering you, or your right?
Left.
Not left one, yeah. Your left one feels to me very like kind of pulled back.
I was wondering if maybe my hips were rotated, like maybe one side was more forward than the other.
Oh, it totally feels like that, yeah. I mean, from here, I think though that
I can feel what you're doing.
Oh, good. What does it feel like?
Like a pressure, just like a pressure. Like you're pressing it, like an acupuncture pressure point.
Okay. The
And my feet are buzzing.
Well, you have, I would say the most interesting thing about just how your system in general feels to me is that you have really good, like the motion that I associate with kind of being out of line with the solar system in general, like with that kind of rotation feels good. Like and that's something I see that's off a lot. But rotation of the stars goes the other direction. And so it's like so your counterclockwise rotation is really good energetically. Your clockwise rotation is not. And that might be some of your resistance to change in general too, just with that. But yeah, and I think that that's part of where it's like your pelvis is really stuck in a clockwise direction, or no, in a counterclockwise direction, and can't go clockwise, but we'll fix that. And I think so. Do you feel clear about what you're going out on your own, or what thing you're going to pick to do is, or no?
No. It's like I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything. I actually had a wild thought to like write a book, but it's like, what am I going to write about? So I'm waiting on a flash of insight.
Yeah. Well, you might start to get that more with the getting your stellar rotation in order. There we go. How does your SI and your low back feel right now? Does it?
Fine. It's fine right now.
Okay. Does it feel softer than when we started, or is it more relaxed?
Yes, it is more relaxed actually. When I move a certain way, it's not sore.
Okay, good. It's starting to feel better to me, so I want to make sure it feels better to you. That's what matters. All right. You might even try let's do this. You can do it out loud or even in your head. Let's try repeating maybe like 9 times. And I'm terrible at counting, so I'll just repeat it for a little while. Is like across all dimensions, I call back all the pieces of my adrenal glands.
Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Across all dimensions, I call back all pieces of my adrenal glands. Is that 9?
Yeah, I think so. How did that, right at the end there, that really started, like that all came, could you feel that at all?
No.
No? Okay.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen. I felt something.
That was good. That helped me because you were just, all of them were like, they were so scattered in so many different directions that made it all come together. And then they started actually moving the way they're supposed to move.
Well, there's buzzing in the kidney area.
Good.
So that's where they are.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just below the ribs, like in the back. It's kind of, is that the same area as L5 or is L5 lower?
L5 is lower. L5 is more the level of your, like L4, L5 is more the level of the top of your pelvis.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it depends. Sometimes as you get older, your ribs and or depending on how much osteoporosis you have, your ribs and your top of your pelvis become closer together. Ideally, you have a couple fingers of distance in there. there's, yeah. How long ago was your hysterectomy?
Coming up on 5 years.
Okay. So, you know, like even though the, you know, physical parts of it are gone, the energetic piece in your pelvis should still live there,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so in astrology, Pluto rules, and Scorpio rule the pelvis.
Mm-hmm.
And your Scorpion's been on vacation. And the part of the reason that's, you know, a woman's reproductive system looks very much like a Scorpion, where the ovaries would be the claws and the vagina would be the tail of the Scorpion. And the, it's important just for your own ability to create, whether it's business or, you know, art or love or whatever, that you need to be able to have that energy there, because the pelvis is just where all creation happens from.
Yeah.
And so some of your discomfort through your pelvis and back may be kind of that you're trying to, you know, like that struggle with creating what you really want or what feels most in alignment with.
Does that have anything to do with your astrological chart?
Good. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm a Taurus, but I'm Scorpio rising.
Right. So you came in with, you know, that's the energy, your Scorpio rising is the energy you kind of wrote into the world on, like this, you know, deep creative energy. And so, you know, and sometimes that's also the trickiest energy for us to, or the energy we're most afraid of sometimes, you know, or that's most, or sometimes that can be hardest to access too. You know, it goes both ways. I can see the Scorpio rising in your personality. The, there we go.
Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah, that's finally started, like kind of came back into. Shannon, do you know that there's an American Holistic Nurses Association?
Yeah. I used to be a member right out of nursing school, and then I didn't keep it up. I think Stacy is a member. You know Stacy?
Yeah, I remember Stacy. Yeah.
I think she's a member.
There you go. I feel like you're turning into a big lotus flower. You're all blooming, which is good.
I feel better emotionally than when we started.
Good. The well, I'll tell you one thing about writing a book, especially because I've been in the midst of writing mine, that the best way to write and figure out what you want to write about is just to write.
I thought about that. Just journal every day and see what
comes through. Yeah. Like, do you know the Artist's Way, like morning pages routine?
No, what is that?
Artist's Way, you can get the book, or like some, you know, different like churches and groups have it. It's just a way of discovering your own creative process, but it's like
it's called Artist Way.
The Artist's Way, to journal 2 pages every morning.
Okay.
And just write what, what comes. The other thing that you can do with your writing is to do like one of the mind body exercises that I have formal training in is doing a dialogue with a symptom.
Okay.
So, and you write it kind of like a movie script, so you could say like, hey, adrenals, why have you gone offline? And then just write the next, and the first thought's the best thought.
Right. Right.
But just to write those conversations, or with your back pain, you could write it with whatever, with whatever you want to do to write it with, or to write it with your, I've done a dialogue with my heart and with my, it doesn't have to be something that's necessarily giving you physical pain, but you can do a dialogue with your soul. You could, it could really be anything. And if you don't want to do it, I know you're good with writing, so I can see that being good for you, but you could also act it out, and do it as a verbal conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
If that felt better. I would just encourage you, if you're going to do it verbally, I would encourage you maybe to record it with your phone, just so that you can go back and, because sometimes that information comes through and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I just say?
I forgot already.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Ooh. That was a big shift. It was like your whole, like your toroidal field had been kind of split in 2, and we got it to merge into 1.
What is that?
So like the electromagnetic field of your heart is shaped kind of like a donut, basically. And that, I'll show you, I can share a picture with you in a second, but and so it's like you sort of stand in the middle of the donut, but it's the energy with which we all create. I'll show you, this is out of the slide I have is from the Heart Math Institute, who does amazing work. Let's see. Oh.
Spell the field.
It's the electromagnetic field of the heart. I'll show you here, right here.
Oh, okay.
So
it's not too much different than your aura.
No. Right. No, I'm sure that your aura is contained in this, but this is also, so I work with this. I think about this kind of in terms of vagus nerve, because your vagus nerve innervates your heart. And so if you don't have good vagal function, you're not going to have a strong electromagnetic field either.
Okay.
But but in terms of kind of creating what you want, and I think how you might think about it is when you have an idea or an inspiration that comes from your heart or your gut, like kind of deep within you, that, it comes up into your head as an idea. And then to bring it into reality, we pull it back in through our organs of creation, that like, it's literally like like you really have to like make love to the idea to,
and birth it.
Right. And I think it goes the other way too, where you kind of like, you birth it, so I think there's flow in both directions of this, but I think you've been kind of stuck in kind of pulling that energy through.
And so is my vagus nerve compressed?
Well, I think I'm going to give you we're going to go through a couple of exercises. I think that in terms of your thoracic outlet syndrome, I think that I can give you a couple things there that will, because I think the back, hang on a second, because I was most struck by when you talked by kind of that thoracic outlet syndrome part, because the posterior mediastinum and posterior pericardium tend to hold a lot of tension and inflammation just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's just a common, you think about how, I'm sure you can imagine how tight older people are with, especially as we get older, in our upper backs.
Yeah.
And part of that's just the physiology of where inflammation lodges itself in the posterior pericardium. And then your vagus nerve goes through the posterior mediastinum. So it, yeah. Okay. So what I want you to do is take your right hand and put it on your left shoulder, so your elbow is pointing forward. And then take your left hand and put it in the small of your back. Okay.
Up or down or sideways?
It doesn't matter. Whatever's comfortable. Just the back of your hand on the,
Okay.
Or as close as you can get. But I don't want you to torture yourself to be here.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Now, I want you to imagine breathing into the back side of your heart. Okay, so the back side of your chest, maybe a little bit to the left. Okay, so now we're going to take it a step further. So I want you to breathe into that back side of your heart for a count of 3. Hold it for a count of 5, and then blow like you're blowing out a candle for a count of 8. And do 4 more breaths like that. Okay. What do you think? That shifted your energy. Think that you can relax your arms.
My whole body feels more relaxed. I don't feel like sometimes when you're stiff and you move in a direction, you get like what I call a poke.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not having that right now. My hips feel really good. I've still got one little spot that I can feel.
Where?
Left sacroiliac near the top.
Okay. So, all right. So we'll try and get that polished up. But I think that little breathing exercise would be good for you to do.
How many times do I need to do that a day?
Well, so I'll give you 2 options. Like you could do 5 breaths of it, like 3 to 5 times a day, just as a, like to do it once now and then throughout the day.
Okay.
I think that because you've been tight and kind of pokey for a little while, it would be nice if you could do like 5 sets of 5 breaths at the beginning of the day, like when you wake up, and you might see how it loosens you up.
All right. So that would be like 25.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But give yourself like a pause between each set just to.
Okay. And then throughout the day as well?
You could just see how you do. I mean, it should be something that if you start to feel like if you get a poke or you start to feel tight or whatever, it should be something you can do a set of and then feel better afterwards.
Okay.
And that you don't always have to do a full complement of 5 sets of it. But in the beginning, sometimes a little more investment gets you better results. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
But ultimately you can do it like now, like I've done this stuff enough that now I can do one set of 5 breaths, and that tends to, like that goes a long way for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you've got, that is, you've got some grief stuck in your SI joint.
Yep, probably.
But it's not even really yours. It's like from a couple of generations back, like your great grandmother. You might not even know specifically,
I don't know who she is.
Yeah. So part of that is a generational limiting belief about how that like we're supposed to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you can, I know you probably don't even have like a real, you may not even have like a real life picture in your head, but just like imagine the energy of your great grandmother in her heart. And I'm just going to ask her to kind of help her see the light in her own heart. And that she doesn't have to hold on to all the darkness that she's holding on to. And she doesn't need to help you hold on to it. That you can both be free of that. Okay, how does that feel in your...
Better.
Yeah, I think she was attached to you a little bit in a way that wasn't productive. Yeah, you don't have that ball of grief in your SI anymore. Okay. All right. Anything else chit-chatting right now? That feels pretty...
No, I actually feel really good.
Yeah. All right. You have to let me know how it all settles out. But
Well, I'm gonna assess over the next couple of days, and then do I go to Melanie Weller to write?
you can email me or text me, whatever works.
Okay.
For you, and I can add it in. All right, let's close down the energy a little bit.
Because it's pouring out of my feet.
Good.
Just to let you know.
Excellent. You're getting grounded after being. I am so glad it's pouring out of your feet. We're going to just, yeah, that's good. I'm just going to, I was just going to walk it back down towards your feet to make sure it's doing that. But go ahead and bring your attention to your breath, into that clear channel that you have all the way from the center of the earth, breathing in all the way to the universe above and all the way back down. And then breathe into your third eye and back down to your feet. And all of that pain and stiffness and pokiness that you've had can go back into the earth for recycling and up into the universe for transformation into positive energy. Breathe into your throat and back down, into your heart, and exhaling back down. Breathe into your belly and exhale to the center of the earth. Take the breath up into your pelvis and out, and into your hips and thighs and out. And breathe up to your knees and exhale. And then spend a couple breaths just inhaling and exhaling out of your feet. And feeling yourself connected to the center of the earth, to the root systems of all the trees and plants. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. Did your feet settle a little bit after that?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, they're still kind of buzzing, but not like they were.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to kind of ground you a little bit at the end of, after we've been flying.
Yeah.
But especially when you have, I find especially when you have that, have like some other entity that's been sort of attached to you that, because that's always pulling you in a different direction to kind of come back down.
Yeah.
To the earth is good. But yeah, try some of that journaling and see what comes through.
Okay.
For you. And just be, your energy feels really good to me, right? Like I feel like I always would, when I check things and my hands end up going like this, I feel like that's my sign to like stop. The universe is like, stop while you're ahead, Melanie. Don't fix what isn't broken. But it does feel it feels nice and sparkly and clear, and like, like the movement in all directions is there.
I actually I don't feel stagnant, if that's the right word. It's like I can
totally feel that. Yeah. Because your energy, especially not so much, like I said, counterclockwise, but clockwise, you were stagnant for sure.
And it feels different. It feels different. All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
And take it off record.
Yeah, we can stop that. Hold on. Let's see. Stop recording.
All right. So how much